Welcome to the 50 for 50 podcast for Sycamore View Church in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm your host, Anna Moser. In 2028, our church will turn 50. As we look forward to that celebration, we're taking a look back at the stories and people who have shaped our church. 50 stories over 50 months to celebrate 50 years. I encourage you to jump on our website, sycamoreview.org/50-4-50 to watch a short video telling this month's story. We'll be diving deeper into that story here with a special guest each month. So let's jump right in. So the month is April, and every April we have what we call a 901 offering here at Sycamore View, which we give money toward all of our strategic partners, which are just local nonprofit organizations doing great things here in the city of Memphis. And so each April on the podcast and for 50 for 50, we're going to be highlighting one of those ministries. And so this April, today we are talking about HopeWorks, and I have with us one of our shepherds and on the board of HopeWorks, Patrick Parson. Hi, Patrick.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I just want to start by having you introduce yourself, tell us how long you've been at Sycamore View, and what brought you here originally. Do you know?
I've been at Sycamore View. Let me do some public math here, which I'm not good at.
Oh, I'm terrible at math.
15 years.
Okay.
Maybe. It may be a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, funny story. I met Jim Hinkle at Lipscomb in 1993.
Okay.
And Chauncey, as usual and always, she's out shopping looking for a table. And I look over in the store and I see Jim Hinkle. And I was like, hey, what are you doing here? He's like, hey, what are you doing here? I thought you were serving in the military. I said, well, I'm back. And we moved to Memphis and we got to talking. And Jim, being Jim, was like, hey, I need you to come to church.
Yeah.
I got something for you. So we started going to church here. Just rewinding just a little bit. Demetrius and Tamara went to Ellendale, and I didn't know at the time. I was sitting next to someone who was a member, and that was Leanne Ramsey.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know that she went to Sycamore View. We were just there having lunch with our kids. So I get here, I see Leanne, I was like, this is, God is guiding us here. So I saw Jim, got plugged in here, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. So, I love that. Furniture shopping and
furniture shopping.
Bumping in.
So
you got hinkled.
I got hinkled.
That's a term around here.
Chauncey was doing what she does best. Not what she does best, but certainly doing what she is passionate about, shopping. And Jim, you just mentioned it. I got hinkled.
Yeah.
In a good way, though.
Yeah,
I
we're
love
so
Jimbo.
glad you're here. And you have
glad to be here.
2 kids that have moved on out into the world as adults, and now your third.
I do. Riley Grace.
Yeah.
Riley Grace. That's all I got to say about Riley Grace. She's a bowl of fun and a bag of energy.
Yeah. I love that girl. Well, we're talking this month about HopeWorks, and you did a great job in the video kind of going through the history of HopeWorks. I'm going to share a little bit of that here. HopeWorks was founded in 1988 as the Memphis Area Cooperative Services, MACS for short. And their goal was just to provide health and hygiene items to those in need. And that continued for about 10 years and then changed the name to HopeWorks, got a new location, new purpose of job readiness, professional career development, ESL classes, job placement resources, just really expanded their goals. And then somewhere around 2005. Yeah. There were some finances that were tight, morale was low, and there was a new leadership and new vision. And Ron Wade, who's became the executive director and is currently the director today. And Sycamore View has been partners for a long time with HopeWorks. Lots of people here have been in there from the beginning. You mentioned Jim Coleman, Verlin Harp, both key players in that. And then Kip Long. We even have people now that are on staff with HopeWorks, Stoney Ramsey, Cheryl Reddy, and Adam Snodgrass. I'm probably leaving somebody out. But a long partnership that became a formalized strategic partnership later on. But so what got you involved in HopeWorks, and when did you first hear about it?
I first heard about HopeWorks when I came to Sycamore View.
Mm-hmm.
I had been in the military for 10 years, so we were living out of the country. So I had no clue about HopeWorks. I was a Memphis police officer, and I started to see how HopeWorks, they were restoring lives, stepping into the brokenness of some of our family members that live within our community. And that mission to give a second chance resonated with me. And that's what got me interested in being a part of HopeWorks.
That's awesome. And you now, how long have you been on the board?
I've been on the board since 2020.
Okay. Yeah. What a year to join the board, I'm sure.
It was,
yeah.
Right? And 2020 was a very interesting year, but being able to witness firsthand how HopeWorks absolutely transformed lives and watching God at work. HopeWorks, when Ron would tell you, hope in Jesus and a job, and watching that firsthand is amazing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Neat. And now they moved to their new location on Summer Avenue. Was
Summer.
that around 2020?
No, that was before 2020.
Okay.
I don't know exactly when they moved into that facility. That facility was an old bank.
Yes. Yeah, they still got the vault.
They still have the vault in there. That's what I was about to say. But I don't know when they moved there, but they've been there for quite some time.
After. When I first got here, one of my first staff days, we took lunch over there and had lunch with some of the students and their staff. And it was when they were in the basement at, was it Midtown Church of Christ?
Midtown Church of Christ. That's where they were.
Over there on Union. So I remember those days. And so somewhere in between.
They moved. I shouldn't know that being a board member, right?
That's okay. Maybe you became a board member after. So what are some of your, we have this long partnership. What are some of the ways that you've seen our church be intentional about that partnership with HopeWorks?
Well, our strategic partnerships, I love the fact that we have strategic partnerships. Partner with people and ministries and nonprofits that align with our way of helping people see Jesus. And that's one way that I've seen Sycamore View partner with specifically HopeWorks, that we're part of the restoration piece of individuals coming from brokenness, finding hope in Jesus, and someone to share that journey with them. And what I like about HopeWorks is that it is not this cookie cutter model. It is, hey, we're going to walk with you. We see you, you're valued, and Jesus loves you. And so we walk alongside of those individuals and walk through that brokenness, and we continue to share the gospel, because we mentioned this before we started taping, we are imperfect people who serve a perfect God.
That's awesome. I love I've gotten to go to a few of the HopeWorks breakfasts and seeing the people that, coming out of prison, trying to find jobs and going through all of that process, and hearing about these companies that intentionally partner with HopeWorks to hire these people. It's just beautiful to see how much that changes their lives. Yeah.
Given a second chance.
Yeah.
We all are sinners, and God gives us a second chance.
Yeah.
We meet at the foot of the cross. And a lot of people that I meet at HopeWorks, they've never been introduced to Jesus. Some of them say that they've never gone to church. And to see that transformational power of Jesus at work is something powerful. Yeah.
And I know Kip's taught Bible classes, and they integrate a lot of faith into what they teach them
it
too.
Is.
Yeah.
We said it earlier, hope in Jesus and a job.
Yeah.
Along with some of the other educational pieces that
the
HopeWorks
skills.
offer, the skills. Right.
Yeah. And they do classes in prisons now too, right?
They do. There is a prison ministry. There are some changes with some of that, but there is a footprint of the of HopeWorks within the jail system.
Okay. That's what I thought. They just do so much, it's hard to even capture it all. And I know that just recently they broke ground on a new facility. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how we can be praying for the future of HopeWorks?
So recently we broke ground on the transitional housing.
Okay.
And it was, when people went to jail, oftentimes they went right back to that same community. And they picked up some of those same bad habits.
Yeah.
And with this transitional housing, this is offering individuals a way out. Recidivism numbers are high, but we think by opening up this transitional house that we're going to provide a safe space for people to disconnect from some of those things that landed them in jail. And we're excited about it. And some of the things that you all can be praying about is just guidance and wisdom. Pray for the leadership and staff. Ask for God's direction in expanding that particular program. Pray for transformation of lives.
Yeah.
Pray that individuals enrolled in HopeWorks program will find healing and a renewed sense of purpose. Resources. Yeah. You can't do any of this without resources. So pray for financial provision, donations, and resources to help sustain and grow HopeWorks. And then this job readiness piece and employment success. That's a huge part of what HopeWorks, what we do at HopeWorks. So pray that the participants in their career development programs find stable employment so that they can provide for their families and break some of those generational poverty cycles.
Yeah.
And also, it's last but not least, but it's also a number one priority. Pray for faith and spiritual growth. Pray that individuals encountering HopeWorks will experience God's love and grace. Ask for prayers for spiritual transformation and a strong community like Sycamore View to continue to support us.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. That gives us some concrete things to pray for. And
thank you for your prayers.
Yeah, I love seeing how even through this whole process of breaking ground on this new facility, I know that they paused and they said, or you guys said, we really need to stop and pray and make sure this is the direction that God is. They really have been listening for God's movement, and that's just been beautiful to see.
There was so much intentional, focused prayer for the transitional housing, and things just fell in line because we serve a perfect God. Well, now I feel like I need to call Ron Wade and say, Ron, I've been talking about HopeWorks for 3 days in a row on camera, and it's time for us to do lunch.
Yeah, need to catch up with you.
I need to catch up with you so you can educate me on when the building was actually built or renovated. Obviously, I don't know a lot I need to know about.
Yeah, well, I'm just so thankful for your heart for not just HopeWorks, but I know you're also on the board, another one of our strategic partners, Boys and Girls Club.
Near and dear to my heart as well.
Yeah, both of those organizations, hitting different targets, but after the same thing of just really pouring into our community and trying to make a brighter future for not this generation, the next generation. It's a generational effect that this can have. So
it's part of our job.
Yeah,
I tell people often that being a Christian, that's an action verb, and we need to be doing something. And that's one way that we can certainly give back to those that so desperately need Jesus. Not necessarily us, we're just the hands and feet. When we start to make it about us is when we start losing. But God has put us in some awesome places with some amazing people, and we get to share this Jesus story.
Well, I love to see how you do that with your life and your family.
Thank
and
you. Appreciate
all that. I've been asking everybody, we're doing this to kind of look back over the last 50 years, but also to keep looking forward to how God is going to keep moving our church and for the city. So I've been kind of asking everybody to share a short prayer or hope that they have for our church as we celebrate 50 years. So
Absolutely.
I'd love for you to add something to that prayer. What would you say?
I think it'll be what I said previously, that God will continue to equip, organize, and train us to be his hands and feet to go out and help people see Jesus.
It's on the doors.
It's on our doors, right?
Yeah.
And to live that out in a tangible way. And I don't want those just to be words. I want those to be actions.
Yeah.
And that's what I pray for, that the Lord will organize us, train us, continue to train us, and equip us so that we can be his hands and feet.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you, Patrick. And next month, you'll join us back here the month of May. We're going to start looking at a few really special people who have shaped our church. And one of those special people is Lee Brown. So we hope you'll come back next month. We'll see you then.